Welcome back, folks, to another episode of Two in the Cooler. Thank you guys for listening, tuning in, watching. We appreciate it. Right off the bat, I've got to tell you that this Friday we are going live on Twitch once again for WWE SmackDown. We are going to be live on Twitch at 8 p.m. this Friday, September 24th, with the guys from Schemin' and Dreamin'. The Twitch handle is snackspot_SE. That's the word snack, the word spot, underscore, the letter S, the letter E. We did it for SummerSlam last month, and it was unbelievable. I'd never watched wrestling before, and it was mind-blowing. Basically, everything you think about professional wrestling is true. It's so crazy. You have to tune into this live event. I guarantee you're going to be entertained. It's so much fun, especially watching it with Ben and Jake from Schemin' and Dreamin'. So that's going to be, like I said, live on Twitch this Friday, the 24th, at 8 p.m. Eastern Time under the handle snackspot_SE. Check it out. Before we get into the episode, I've got to tell you about Instacart. Instacart is the best way to make your life a little bit easier. Why spend time going to the grocery store or having to turn around if you forget a last-minute item? Don't do that. You don't have to. Make things easier on yourself and start using Instacart. Get not just groceries, but some of your favorite products from some of your favorite local stores delivered right to your front door in as little as 1 hour. The best part is right now, Two in the Cooler listeners get free delivery on their first order of $10 or more. All you have to do is spend $10 and Instacart will deliver it right to your front door absolutely free. No delivery charge. All you have to do, hit the link in the show description and get yourself that deal. Start using Instacart today. Avoid the grocery store. You don't need to go there. Everything's terrible there. All the people there are terrible. No offense to everyone there, but it's a bad situation. It's not you. It's just the environment of a grocery store is not good for anybody. So use Instacart. Free delivery if you spend $10. Hit the link in the show description to get that deal. The other link in the show description is merch. teespring.com/store/2inthecooler. I've been teasing a lot about some new merch things, some exciting stuff that's going to be happening that's still to come. It's on its way, people. In the meantime, you have to check out teespring.com/store/2inthecooler. We've got logo merch, hashtag pizza tipping, Matt can't read, super quality stuff, sweatshirts, t-shirts, tank tops, long sleeves, whatever you're looking for, clothes that are going to make you look good and feel good. It's the first day of fall, the day I'm recording this, okay? Get ready to go. Get ready for that cool weather to come in. If you're like me, you love it. You love the sweatshirt weather. And there's no better sweatshirt that you can buy than one from teespring.com/store/2inthecooler. They're so nice, people. And the t-shirts are unbelievable. Tri-blend fabric. Tri-blend. That's Target quality merchandise. You're not going to get that anywhere else. So check that out. Hit the link in the show description. teespring.com/stores/2inthecooler. Great friend of the podcast, Alex Bauer, on the show today. I'm done talking. Get into it. Enjoy the show, guys.
I got a scenario for you guys.
Okay.
You all right over there, Alex?
Yeah.
You're struggling with the mic a little bit.
Well, it's like,
shit.
Oh,
okay.
shit.
Oh, I guess it's
okay.
No, we're live.
I guess it's
Oh, there we
made
go.
so like I'm looking at the camera.
Oh, there we go.
Like if I
Yeah.
turn towards you, now I'm just
No, but that one can still see you.
I'm
See,
missing the spit
if
thing.
you look at camera 1, that's us, Alex.
Yeah, there's a lot of cameras. You guys really got a good setup going now.
No,
This
but
is-
if yeah, well, you haven't been on in a while.
yeah, well, yeah, last time was over Zoom, one computer.
Yeah, because that was a shit show,
One
and we were
computer.
going out. I
That's
would've
right.
never-
Alex's
We were
episode,
bombed by the end of the episode.
That was
yeah,
like
we were very drunk.
that was one of the worst episodes technically that we had ever had.
I think questionably that could have one of your best stories of all time.
Which one?
The squirrel.
No,
that was a phone
different
call.
one.
That was
me
a
trying
call.
to like shit in the.
Oh
my
yeah,
in the
you
fridge.
trying to shit in the fridge. R.I.P. to our
That
old
is a great
apartment.
story.
I think I was maybe just trying to pee sitting down. That makes more sense.
No, I think you were trying to shit in the fridge because you had already tried to pee standing up. All right, I got a scenario for you guys.
Okay.
It's on Twitter today.
Okay.
I'm going to change the monetary value up a little bit because I think
All right.
it comes in on the high side. You get $1 million cash in your hand right now, but this is the catch.
Okay.
A snail follows you around for the rest of your life. just a regular snail.
Okay.
And if the snail touches you, you instantly die like a super, super painful, terrible death.
Like your insides like burn up?
Yeah. You can never kill the snail. It knows your location at all times, 24/7. It always knows where you are, and its only purpose on this earth is to find you.
And it'll live for as long as you live, I'm
Yes.
assuming. Okay.
This is an easy yes. I've already gamed this out in my head.
No, Andrew.
This is a tough one for me. Usually will you turn my headphones up a little
Yeah,
bit?
I can do that for you.
Thank you. Because the thing about snails is they always just show up. Like, you never really see a snail.
you wouldn't-
Do I
in
know
motion.
what, like, can I distinguish this snail from other snails?
I think
That's an interesting question. I would say
it's going to be the only snail following you around. Like, it's probably the only snail you'll see.
But like,
more
if
than
I
once
like
in your
go to
life.
the beach and there's like 10 snails, like, am I sitting there?
Well, you have to
This
Well,
one of them?
that's a risk
assume.
you'd have to. Well,
Yeah.
first of all, there's no snails on the beach because sand would
beach
kill a snail.
snails.
Yeah, I thought snails would be.
This
I
is
thought
like a
the beach
regular
is
snail. No,
Where do you find snails then?
in like gardens.
Okay, I'm good with. I mean, this is. Can the snail die from natural causes?
No, the snail lives. The snail lives forever.
But the snail will, like,
But it's still a
gonna
snail.
follow
Okay,
you
all right.
around.
So I've decided how I would go about this already.
Okay.
So if I go hop on a plane, like show up an hour before the flight, bang, get right on there, and go ahead and fly somewhere, the snail is obviously not going to meet me at the plane. It's not fast enough. Wait, I can establish that already. So I'm gonna go fly like to Europe, take my $1 million and go on a nice vacation. And by the time the snail has maybe made it to like the bottom of the Atlantic halfway, it's gonna be, I don't know, 2 years maybe. Snails don't move fast. They gotta stop to sleep and eat.
Can you look up the...
Yes, I already know it.
Okay, what is it? Well, the average speed of a snail.
Yeah.
Just so everybody knows.
Is like 0.003 miles an hour. So I have another stat for you. It would take a snail, the average snail, it would take a snail 197 years to travel 5,000 miles.
So I just have to move.
But let me preface you with a counterpoint, because I don't disagree that your strategy could work.
Yeah.
And I think, honestly, I would almost be comfortable staying home. I don't think this snail would get me. If you know what I mean? Because
Like just
all of a sudden,
be
if
in
you're
your
just
bedroom,
like,
you're like just don't sleep for more than 4 hours.
no, see, you would have to be aware. Oh, what's going
It's
on
fine.
there? You would have to be you'd have to be aware of like your bedroom areas. But what if I was a snail? This is what I would do. I would attach myself to like your car or something, because then you already brought the snail to the airport. Now all the snail has to do is it doesn't even have to get to you, it has to get to the plane once you stop at the airport. And you've got TSA before the plane takes off, so the snail then has to get to the plane. It could stay on the plane to Europe, and now the snail is following you, and you don't even know that's on your scent. So your guard drops. You're thinking, I don't have to run away from the snail
We just
anymore.
talked about how fast it moves. If I dodge it getting out of the car, it's never making it to the plane.
How do you know?
What, is it gonna hitch a ride with TSA?
Maybe it hops on one of the carts that they bring the luggage to the plane. See, I'm just saying.
But
in a
if you
theoretical,
I would
check
rather your
live-
car
I would
though,
rather
before you leave for the airport. If you check your car before you go and you see there's no snail
Yeah,
there,
but what if in the amount of time that
Can
it
I,
takes you to
like,
check your
move the
car?
snail with
no,
a
you can't
stick?
touch
Like-
the snail. You can't touch the snail.
Okay, I'll call you. Be like, can you get this snail off my car?
I'd be like, hell no, because if you die, I get your $1 million.
I'll give you $1,000.
that's not how that works.
Yes, it
whoa.
is,
How do
because
you
you get
get the
the
money?
you get the $1 million cash in your hand up
Are
front.
are you assuming that you are the sole
Yeah, what?
benefactor of Alex's estate
No,
in
I
the
would just
event of
take
his death?
No, I would just take the money.
The snail's not gonna kill me. We just talked about how slow it is.
Okay. But
I just
what
don't
if-
understand how you get Alex's
Okay,
money.
because he has the $1 million cash.
I'd put it in the
Oh,
bank.
it's
before.
cash.
How are you gonna put it in the bank? What if you get audited?
I'll pay taxes on it. That's fine. It's still a lot of money.
Yeah, okay, but
For a very small income.
okay, but what if you
I
get
might
audited?
do this for like
What if-
$100,000.
What if you get audited and they're like, where's this money coming from? We see it didn't come from your small business. What are you gonna say? Like, oh, somebody gave it to me to run away from a snail for the rest of my
Yeah.
life?
Yeah.
They're not gonna
Yes.
believe you. They're gonna assume you're doing something
I don't
shady.
know. I
Next thing you
feel
know, you
like-
end up in jail. And if there's one place the snail is gonna get you, it's inside a fucking jail cell, because then you're really limited to your movements.
That's an excellent point, but I do think
So you keep the $1 million probably under your bed or like somewhere, and I just take it when you die, and nobody knows it even exists. The $1 million.
I'm putting it in a safe, right? And it's gonna be one of those fingerprint ones, and I'm making it so that everybody's fingerprint works but yours.
Okay, well then I would simply have somebody else open it, and then I'd have the snail kill that
Then
person
it'd be their
too.
money. I just want to make sure that you don't get
wait.
it at this
If
point.
does the snail
No.
curse transfer with the money?
Yeah, Yeah,
I'm
sure.
I'm trading
Wait.
money for Bitcoin.
Okay, so now we're getting to some Twilight Zone thing. Is it
Interesting.
now that is it that the snail,
Investments.
if you buy a candy bar and you give like
No.
the person $5
It's your last $5. Does the snail now follow them? No,
or
the,
just like any
the snail and you,
bill.
the snail and you have a Harry Potter Voldemort type connection going on. Like,
occlumency.
it has to kill you. Its only purpose on
It's a
this
word
earth
from
is
Harry
to kill
Potter.
you.
This is just ridiculous.
I agree that I would do it, but I think that I would stay in my own home.
If
I don't
you
know.
did it,
Snails
I
are
would
so
I would
quiet,
bring
though.
the snail to you and make sure it kills you, so I can take the money from you.
Well, then I could do the same thing to you. Then the snail wouldn't even have to worry
Well,
about.
then I
getting on
guess
a
neither
plane.
of us can do it.
But you could.
This is a theoretical in which, all right, new theoretical.
If the-
you're not like one, it's only one of us is involved in this. Like we're not. No, you know what I mean.
I would do it if everybody in the world knew, I would still do it. I don't think there's any way I'm gonna get touched by a snail.
No, I agree. That
I've
it's
never
worth
been
it.
touched by a snail before.
I've touched a snail.
Yeah, but you've never.
I
been touched
actually
by a
don't
snail.
think that's true. I think that I've had like a slug maybe on me before,
Right.
and I think that's just a snail without a
You
shell.
guys haven't like eaten a snail before?
Escargot, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
But that's
I guess
not a
that's
snail
true, but
ending
that's
up on
different.
you.
Yeah, it's like cooked. It's like you don't eat raw chicken.
I don't think a snail's ever creeped up on anybody.
So I did have a theory.
No, but that's the thing.
No,
they
see, I
kind
think
of
they
do.
I'm kind of shocked by the.
And they crawl
The,
through the grass too. Like you'd never be able to sit in grass again, because you don't know where that snail is.
Moving to Europe, I think, is the best.
Yeah,
like
you'd
I
have to
feel
move.
like you.
No,
get
you just
pretty
have to
lucky in
stay
that
there
sense.
long enough that the
Yeah.
snail can't really make it back.
Yeah, I think that'd be. I think you'd be in pretty
I
good
think
shape.
your problem is though is that
You just have
to
to
my
travel
point
enough
early
that he'll
that
never
the
catch up to
snail
you.
would never even make it there. I think if I was the snail, I would actually use your trip. You would go to Europe and you'd come back, even if it was 10
This
years
is the
later.
smartest snail of all time.
Yeah, no, the snail's got, yeah. Even if it was 10 years later, you'd come back thinking like that snail's probably in the middle of the ocean. I'm never going to see this snail again in my life. And if I was that snail, I would have just like started a home underneath your pillow. And the second you got home, just, blah!
right.
But I have $1 million. Like I'll move somewhere else. I'll have more than one home.
If I was the snail though, he knows where you are at all times. He's got wall hacks. I would simply just wait until you returned to one. Like I would get to one spot and then I would wait until you showed back up there.
But it's like even if we were in the same room, it's still gonna take him so long.
Okay, but all I'm
Right.
saying,
And
though, all I'm saying is, if you don't know where this snail is, in theory, at any second, at any time, you could just drop into the one of the most painful deaths of all time.
This snail's best shot is that I'm stoked that I got $1 million and got blackout before I got on the plane to Europe.
And you probably would.
I probably would. So that's like his.
And then the snail kills you.
He's got like one good shot, and that's about it.
I think I would do it. I think you just have to kind of. I think I would with my $1 million. I would hire a security team that's not allowed to kill the snail, but they're on like snail watch 24/7, 365.
You'd burn through that
That'd
$1
be
million.
a-
bucks
I would.
really
I
quick,
would.
though.
I would.
That'd be.
I would. You know. I would set
have to
aside like maybe 20,000 for like the first year of paying that security team, maybe more than that, maybe 100,000.
Figure out the snail.
Yeah, I was
Pay
gonna say only
$100,000.
$20,000
Yeah.
for a 24-hour security.
Maybe
team.
$100,000.
This is
for
Snail
security.
Security. We're not.
Yeah, I don't need the highest end of security.
But they
they're-
still
they're
need to be
present,
there all the time. You're just gonna hire a homeless guy?
pretty much.
Okay.
Room and board.
But the thing is, you have to make sure the homeless guy, because you can't be responsible for the snail being killed.
What if? Nah, I guess the snail can't like communicate to other people. Because if that's the case, then the
unless you can
snail would
speak
Have you
Definitely.
heard about Matthew's snail? It's superhuman.
right. So
Yeah.
like,
What about that movie Snails? Isn't that a Disney or a Pixar movie or something
Turbo?
like that? Turbo.
But I think
small
that-
if
snail.
but I
it's
think
turbo,
that-
you're fucked.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because
you're
that's
dead.
a fast snail.
Yeah.
But I think I think the Turbo universe, like everybody's a snail. Like it's not just
Yeah. Well, there's
humans and
multiple.
snails.
Yeah. There's multiple universes.
Yeah, but I'm just if Turbo traveled to this multiverse, then yeah, I guess you're in trouble.
Yeah.
But but you don't really have to worry about that.
I'm saying all of these things, saying that I would do it, but I would do it. I
For
mean,
the
yeah, you
guy
could
that's
just be
saying
a
he would do
nomad.
it, you came up with more reasons than anybody.
Because I
not
have
do
to
it.
make sure I'm
Yeah.
I'm prepared to live my
you gotta
life.
think of every
Because
scenario.
I don't want to be sitting there all the time thinking like, fuck, I could die right now. I don't know where this snail is. I want somebody that has eyes on the snail. That's what I would do. I would hire somebody to have eyes on the snail at all times. That's what I would do.
I'd hire somebody else to put a GPS tracker on the snail, just like strap it on
Talking
there.
to the
with
mic, Alex.
Oh, sorry.
No problem.
I would hire somebody else to just put a GPS tracker on the snail, just strap it on
That's
there
not a
with a Ziploc.
stipulation.
Yeah, that could
It's
be
not a
good.
stipulation.
That's better than I think hiring someone to watch the snail at all times
Uh-huh.
because I think that it's just a natural thing that humans do that when they're around an animal or something for a long time they become attached to it. So I think that if you hire someone to be with the snail all the time,
They're
eventually
gonna turn
they
on you,
will
Yeah.
But they're
Like,
And you can't tell them about
pro
the $1 million.
snail.
No, because
You gotta
they're-
have
can't
an
tell them about the
alibi.
$1 million
Yeah.
because their job isn't to kill this. They can be best friends with the snail. That's
yeah,
fine.
but what if they like
yeah, but
it
then they
so
become, they
much?
become empathetic to the snail.
Yeah, exactly. And they're like, I
the
want to
snail's
see
only-
this snail succeed.
I
in its
think
one
yeah, I
goal.
think
if you
telling
can become
anybody about the
empathetic
snail
to
is
us,
bad.
if you can
Yeah,
become
you can-
empathetic to a snail, though, you're telling me that you would be okay with killing a human?
Yeah, 100%.
I mean, potentially.
You ever seen PETA?
Sure, something like that.
Yeah. PETA might like help, like they might as a collective group help the snail. Be like, this is what the snail wants. Like
The
We have-
pro snail
yeah.
party. I could see that. I think
that's 100% a real
PSP?
thing too. Yeah. With Sony the whole time.
Yeah, fuck.
How do you think Sony's doing?
We've been Sony, like our old neighbor.
Yeah.
Probably. I think she moved.
Career, how many Newports do you think she smoked?
Oh, that's a high number. I don't know numbers that high. Googleplex.
Yeah.
She smoked Googleplex Newports in her life. That's a
Don't
lot.
look at me. I
You
never
ever meet her?
smoked
You
it.
ever meet her?
No.
No.
Okay.
Well, this is what
Alright.
at your old place.
Yeah.
Okay.
She's an interesting character.
She's
Yeah.
a legend. She's an all-timer.
She's suggested that you should only throat fuck girls to not get them pregnant. I like with those words.
She would say nasty
specifically,
stuff
yeah.
to us. She was like a 70-year-old lady. She was crazy. She used to compliment my legs all the time.
Oh my fucking god! Jesus Christ!
She used
This
to kind of
woman
like
sounds insane.
she used to kind of low-key bait us into her apartment, and we would always be a little sketch. Like she would
and you
ask
would
us,
go in there.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, we'd like help her with shit though. She'd be like, "I need
Yeah,
my
I bet
air
you
conditioner."
did, bud. Jesus Christ!
No, she really would. She'd be like, she'd need something. She was old. She'd need like a piece of furniture moved or like her like air conditioner like taken out or something, and we would do it, and then we'd like sneak back out.
Yeah, yeah. No, I bet she had a lot of needs that you guys wouldn't fulfill. Jesus Christ! How dare you come on
Never
the
at the
show
same time,
and
yeah.
smut it up? At least you have boundaries.
Now,
Well, we
don't
should say we
disrespect
should.
Sony.
I'm sorry. What I mean, isn't she dead? Weren't you just saying how she's dead now?
No.
Oh, okay.
Oh no, she's definitely. I don't think
she
she's
might
ever
never
gonna-
die.
Yeah,
She's who Jeff Bezos is looking for.
for real.
Oh, she's got the secret.
The one time I came home and there was a rat dead in the driveway, like, and I'm like, oh, someone must have ran it over. So it's like laying there. I had to grab like a plastic bag, pick it up, throw it out. So I come out the next day, and she goes, "Did you pick up that rat?" And I'm like, "Yeah, it was a dead rat, like rotting in our driveway." She's like, I was coming home from a funeral yesterday, saw it, and I just curb stomped the shit out of that bitch. And she's like stomping her front. She like stomped out a rat.
For fun.
And then left it there.
Yeah, left it there.
Sounds like
to
she
warn
was,
off the other rats.
Yeah.
Like, don't.
That's
like
what. That's
Schmidt,
exact. When you
Spider
said
Hunt
that, that's
style.
exactly what I thought. I was like, she left it there to warn
I don't
off
think
the other
that
rats.
works. Me and my dad tried this for so long with like squirrels and crows, and they're like, "Oh, dead body. All right,
Yeah.
I'm gonna go eat the food anyways."
Exactly. Well, especially for rats, because rats will eat other dead rats. That's like
Rat King.
That's not exactly what that is, but yeah, I guess. I mean,
Is that the
rats will
giant
do
bundle of rats?
Yeah, a rat king.
Do you know what this is?
A rat king is when, because you know, rats, when they live on top of each other, right? Especially when there's a place where there's just so many of them. And sometimes when you have so many rats just like scurrying all over each other, their tails get twisted up and into these giant balls of rats, and they can't
Rat king.
untangle themselves. So it just grows and grows.
Are
And
they
that's
stronger
a rat king.
as a rat king, or are they?
Well, they probably eat each other a lot of times.
Yeah, but that's a thing.
And then one rat becomes the king.
A rat king is kind of like a self-sustaining ecosystem. Like it kind of eats the middle, but it continues to pick up other rats, so it grows. It's really one of the most disgusting things ever.
This brings us to a good point. That one thing that's always on Twitter, like you can pick a hunter, gorillas, like, you know, I mean, you pick all the animals. It sounds like the rats are just destroying themselves. They're just going to rat king themselves right out of the fight.
10,000 rats.
But there's always more rats to fuel a rat king.
Exactly, yeah. They're literally destroying themselves. Like, I see
But
the
I
rats
don't-
coming, I'm
Yeah,
like,
but-
they're fucked. Their tails are shot.
I don't think that
Global
that's
warming, man. So is the
like
human
necessarily a
population. Let's get real.
detriment to the rats. Like I don't think that's necessarily something that's gonna. I don't see it as they're taking themselves out, like they're killing themselves. If anything, I feel like that just is gonna make them stronger. There are so many rats, Alex. There's like exponentially more rats than there are people.
My brother lives in the city of Tonawanda, and the one day he's like, I said I had a rat running outside of my house when we lived at our old apartment. And he's like, that's disgusting. I don't got no rats here. I'm like, bro, I was like, you have an outside garage. There is rats everywhere. Like, there is an uncountable number of rats in this world.
Yeah.
He's like, I don't have rats. Literally that night we were sitting there outside. Bang, rat scurried right across the backyard. I said, you got rats.
I've,
rats are pretty smart, so that rat probably knew you were talking about it too.
I've
and
lived
did that
with,
to prove a point.
I've lived amongst the rats before.
Matthew is the rat king.
Yeah,
And
he
it
was
is-
in the mafia. There was a guy that was snitching on everybody, and
I've lived amongst
Very
the
nice,
rats
very
before,
nice.
and it is not a pleasant way to live.
I bet it
like
wasn't.
in the house.
Oh,
You didn't
never
know
heard
about,
this
yeah, you never
story?
knew about all this?
No,
it actually just came up on. I got a Snapchat
we don't live in
memory
like
today.
New York City. I would have called like a land. Like,
They're everywhere.
Oh, bro,
It
it
doesn't-
took
it doesn't
and
it
then
took
out.
probably 5 months to get this like colony of rats exterminated from our house. It started off. We saw one rat,
That's the way it always starts.
and we assumed like, oh, that's not good, and we told our landlord right away. And then like we thought we had it figured out. We were like, all right, there's like 3 different rats that live in this house, and like I've personally like killed several rats. In we would leave rat weapons all over the house, like old hockey sticks, brooms, anything, and it didn't matter what time of day it was. 3-4 o'clock in the morning, somebody would be going to the bathroom, and like you could tell when there was a rat amongst you because you could hear it.
you can feel it.
And
there's
so
something in the air.
you would literally
changes.
like let out a scream, not like a scared scream, but like a scream for help. And anybody that was like around in earshot, didn't matter if you were asleep or whatever, would have to get out of bed and grab a rat stick, and we knew all the spots where they could escape from, and you would literally trap the rat and like stay there until you could get it to expose itself and then you kill it. I've had a rat run at me and taken a slap shot and shot it as hard as I could into a wall and watched it hit the wall and then run right back at me 3 times. I've taken slap shot at rat. Like same rat. Boom, hits the wall, runs back at me. Boom, hits the wall, runs back at me. Boom, hits the wall, kind of gets up and stumbled, and then you come over the head with the stick like an axe. Boom.
Wow. This is like a cartoon. Like there's a big block of cheese behind him.
No. Yeah.
He's
So-
dressed up in a cat costume.
So I'll give you a couple stories
Tom
too.
and Jerry.
So it took almost like probably 5 months to get all these rats exterminated from our house. What happened was there was like something like a crack in the foundation where they could come up from underneath our basement, and yeah, they lived everywhere amongst us. But you can't clean out your house when like people are exterminating rats. Like you can't just like clear everything out, because then the rats will find new ways to navigate. They won't leave, they'll just find new ways. So once you figure out they're there, the exterminator figures out like where they're coming from, and then you have to kill them all before
Word gets out.
no
I think that might be pretty
no
close.
before
though.
you can clean the whole like you can totally clean the house, because then they'll find new ways to travel.
Right.
I like Andy's idea better. They go down there.
We found out that we found out
They've
found
got
out
like
at the end of
that
it,
that like war room style like map on the table, and their
Yeah.
little figures that they like push across.
we
it.
found out at the end of it that we had like about 60 rats living in our house.
Were they
Could be
paying
worse.
rent?
No.
I would argue.
And we
with
had
your
to
landlord
clean
that
out
they
the
owe
entire we
something.
had to like, so when they were finally exterminated, top to bottom, the attic where we didn't even live, but it used to be an old apartment, like our landlord paid to have that completely like cleaned out. We had to go in literally with like Tyvek suits on practically and masks and clean out our entire basement, like shit that we didn't bring
You
down
needed,
there.
you-
But
that wasn't because of the rats. You had to wear that though.
no, it
That
was
because you had the rage corner.
no. That was at an old house. That was this different house. This is a basement we didn't even use until we cleaned it out. It was, yeah, it was a pretty crazy experience. There was like a lot of shit I didn't know about rats. I have two stories. One, we used to have, you know, like those little screens that people put in their windows, and like you can slide them this way and then they close it. Like people that don't have window screens can open their windows and close them in their windows, so that, like the one we have in our living room.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
We used to have, all of us would have those in front of our bedroom doors. So
Right.
that rats couldn't get under our bedroom doors. And people would ask us all the time, like, oh, do you guys have a dog? And we'd be like, sometimes. Yeah. Every once in a while we do.
60 of them.
And there was also, you know how I told you we had all the rat spots figured out? This is a fucked up story.
Oh no.
There was one spot that we could never figure out where they would go. Like we had all the holes in our house sealed off, like with like tape and like Flex Seal crap like that, to make sure that when you trapped a rat somewhere, like it couldn't get whatever. There was one spot we could never figure out where these rats would go. Because the only other available area for them to get into was the oven. So we eventually figured this out. We didn't know that, but we were like, they can't be going in there. But just to make sure, like if we thought a rat went in there, we would just turn the oven on broil.
Oh my god.
So, we never once found a rat though in our oven.
I found out the other day.
Wait, is that the end of that
No.
story?
Oh,
Okay.
okay. I was about to say like.
The very like this was a full year later after we had the rat problem. Like another school year had came and gone, and we were getting ready to move out of our house, and we needed our security deposit back, so we were cleaning the crap out of the whole thing. And you can take ovens apart in two pieces to where you can take the stove top off and the oven part off. And one of our roommates on one of the very last days there found what he believed to be like a rat skeleton in there. Like we actually did kill one rat in the oven.
You're lucky it was just one. Oh my god. That is.
I don't usually disclose that to people that I did, but like now it's out there.
Well,
It's such
now
a crazy
hundreds
thing
of
to
Was there
people
like
will hear
one
that.
week where the food started getting like a little bit better when you took it out of the oven?
No. No.
How would you describe this taste?
Ratty.
Bubonic?
Yeah, bubonic.
Yeah.
Yeah. What were you gonna say?
I can't remember. I can't remember.
Alex,
Right.
we also haven't said that Alex Bauer is on the podcast, but people, the small portion of our fans that know how to read will see the episode title and figure it out.
I didn't want to disclose that information because I don't care. I was anti-Alex ever coming back on the podcast. I've told him to his face.
I was a
times,
fan favorite. There was people literally in the comments screaming my name to come back on.
Yeah,
will you turn just a little bit?
Oh, yeah.
That was you. No,
You
not
have to
towards
turn
the camera,
out just-
towards
Oh,
the
okay.
audio.
All right.
That
So
was
that people
you.
can see it.
That was literally you. Alex, my brother.
That was not me.
My brother was like,
I
Alex?
commented off of my personal
You couldn't
account.
even look at us when you just said that.
I was talking to the fans.
I know for a fact that
Can't even look at me.
You guys honestly lucked out because I had about 12 more Instagram burner accounts until the other day, and I logged myself out. And when I went to... So this is the problem that occurred. So way back whenever, Matthew got an Instagram DM from somebody. And Instagram, you can, like, unsend DMs. And we talked about it for a while of, like, how annoying is it that...
because you get a notification. Sorry, go ahead.
Well, basically, like, you can never... Like, if they had never DM'd you before... It doesn't even move them to the top of your list, so you have no clue.
It's all you get is a notification that says somebody unsent you a message.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's scummy. So,
and you don't know who.
I like waited a week and then made an Instagram account, DM'd him, unsent it. Well, we got a notification like, oh, this person you might know is on Instagram. So he knew it was me because I signed him my phone number, and I sent him an unsent a message. So he's like, why are you fucking with me? I was like, all right. So I waited like another week. And I, like, made another burner account. Didn't connect it to me. Sent him and unsent him a message. And I did this with probably 10 accounts over just months. Like, every time it'd be, like, nighttime, I'm bored. I'd, like, make a new Instagram account and DM him and just unsend the message right after. So I had, like, not an Instagram burner 1, not an Instagram burner 2. Like, this is not a burner account 4. Like, just all of them loaded up. So you guys did look out that if I had all of those accounts still, I would have been commenting off of everyone.
Alex, for a man who claims he has no free time, has more social media burner accounts than anybody I've ever met.
It's so easy. You hit sign up. They're like, is this your email? Sure, yeah. Okay, I have a lot of emails too. I have a lot of Twitter burners. I think I'm up to like 8.
8 different Twitter
And for
accounts.
somebody with as many Twitter burners as I have, I still tweet the dumbest shit off of my own Twitter. Like, they could 100% just go onto a different account.
Some of them are really obvious, too. Alex will get in a Twitter argument, and then you'll just see, like, 3 different accounts that have, like, no followers just repeating exactly what Alex just said
100%.
in the Twitter argument.
I had one for a while that, like, if I got in, like, a fight with somebody in the comments and I wanted to start getting nasty, I would just, like, go to their pictures, like, do the little Snapchat, cut their face off, and just, like, paste their face on, like, somebody getting fucked in the ass. Like, comment and be like, is this you?
I mean, that's kind of the best way to use burner accounts, though, because you could be like, KD had that thing, I think, where he got caught using a burner, and then there was that Skip Bayless one. That
Well, that's the thing. If you're going to use
Skip
burners,
Bayless,
you
but-
have to be on point. Because
Yeah,
there's
you gotta
one
be careful.
burner, and there's one account that's actually not even a burner account, but I know that Alex could use it, and I've seen him accidentally tweet real tweets off of it. And that's how I know that he's still active on it.
yeah, you got to be careful with that sort of thing,
Yeah.
because people will notice.
They're
You
not
get some
bad tweets,
spots.
but, like,
no.
I'll read it, and I'll be like, this was meant to be a real tweet, not a tweet
Yeah.
off of a fake account.
Yeah, it gets
that's
difficult.
hilarious.
I got a lot to manage on my phone.
I wanted to bring up a few things, actually.
Yeah, what do you got for us? What do you
Well,
got for
just
us?
a couple little things. Let me.
There's one thing I don't want you to bring up.
I thought he was going to pull, like, a magic
Okay,
trick
what
out
is
of
it?
his pocket.
It's related to the Hoopman of the Week.
Okay, yeah. No. So our parents are moving
Yeah.
out of the house that we grew up in. So I was over there last weekend cleaning things out, and I found a couple things I thought were funny.
Okay.
The first one, like, just real quick, being this bracelet
What is that bracelet?
here. So it says on it, you can read it. It says Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows, and that bracelet is from the Kmart story.
This just says China on it.
Flip it around,
my
dummy.
bad. No, I'm just kidding. They handed these out at Kmart.
Yeah.
This is
well,
the saddest
they didn't-
bracelet.
They didn't hand them out.
You had to pay for them?
No, there was a pile of them next to that sad
Yeah, that's
cookie
it.
tray.
Yeah. Have you ever heard this story?
No.
Oh, it's so fucked up.
I'll tell it really quick because we said it like I think twice before. But so the final Harry Potter book is coming out, and they're having this huge celebration at Barnes and Noble for the midnight release of Book 7, Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows. And it was a Friday night, I think, and I am in the living room begging Jerry Canada to take me to this thing. And he's just sitting there watching numbers, and he's like, no, I'm not going to take you. I'm literally on my knees. I've never asked for anything like this in my life. So I finally wear him down. He's like, fine, we can go to a midnight release. Instead of going to this big Barnes & Noble's party, he drives to Kmart. And it was the saddest thing I've ever seen. We walk in there, and, it's midnight, so there's nobody there, except there was, like, this little area where I think they used to sell, like, popcorn the way Target used to. And there were a couple tables. There was, like, 7 people sitting very quietly. And there was just this sad Sam's Club cookie tray in the middle. And there were all these signs up, like, dress up like your favorite character for the Harry Potter midnight release. No, nobody did, dude. It was just a bunch of people in, like, gross Kmart shirts, like, just sitting there quietly. And then there was one, like, teenage kid in a red vest, and his watch, like, beeped at midnight and was like, all right, just come get your books. And then we all lined up, and he just handed them out. It was...
Oh, so there was, like, a good amount of people there, though?
There was, like, 8 people there.
Okay. Whenever I hear, like, a book sold more than, like, 1,000 copies, I'm like, who? There's 1,000 people that read a book?
More than 1,000?
You can listen. I mean, you should be the most anti-book person ever. Like, if somebody's reading a book, they're not listening to your podcast.
That's okay. Also, a lot of people do both. I don't know why they do that, but...
How do you do both? You can't absorb that information.
Yeah, I know, but they don't think about that.
I can't
but
even...
yeah, so this bracelet is from that fateful night.
That is the saddest night in the history of Andrew Canada.
No, it's not, but it was sad because it was a shit show. I couldn't care less. I was so excited to get that book.
At the time, you were probably like, let's go, I'm getting the book.
Yeah.
Did you read it that night?
No, I don't think so. But
was Jerry, like, kicking around, like, non-existent dust while he was, like, waiting for midnight?
He was not. He was so upset. But everybody there was miserable, so he fit right in. Like, it was a sad situation.
How fun do you think the Barnes & Noble one was?
It was on the news, and it was awesome. I saw there were oh my God, they were, like, giving out a bunch of food. They were giving away things. People were all dressed up there. That was like... That's where you wanted to be that night. Yeah. That was where all the fans were.
I'm in the ghetto.
Andy got a bracelet. Barnes & Noble is giving out, like, real wands.
They were giving out $100 bills.
That worked.
The other thing I found...
Oh, he's got...
Real quick, was this notepad. And I just thought it was funny. Because...
The first thing I see in there is mom... comma.
Yeah, so this is a notepad from Star Wars Revenge of the Sith, and I found it in my bedroom, and only the first 2 pages are filled in, and the first one just says is the number 1, and it says foaming sugar in, like, kids' handwriting.
So you were getting creative that night. That's an invention.
Also, I just realized the word foaming is all in caps.
Yeah.
Next to sugar.
I know adults that write like that. That's okay.
Foaming sugar.
Foaming, like, Andrew, listen, when you find this in, like, 15 years, you have to do something about this. We own that now, by the way.
We own foaming sugar now. We said it on the podcast.
And then the second page, the only other page that is used. I want to read it because because I wrote it. It's in my voice. This is a note that I use this for. It says, Mom, I did 300 push-ups and Matthew's highest... Wait, I fucked it up.
Start again.
It says, Mom, I did 310 push-ups and Matthew's highest was 300. Matthew is probably going to be... Crayon?
Cramped?
Wait, crayon in the morning? I think it's supposed to be like mad. It's supposed to be mad in the morning. Love, Andrew. I just thought that was funny. I feel like
First of all, there's no way you did 310 push-ups.
I did. It says it right on this
What
note.
year do we
Mom,
think
I did
this was?
310 push-ups, and
Let me see
Matthew's
that.
highest
I don't
was
think you know how to
300.
count to 310 at this
Let me
time.
see
Well, it was.
You're writing
What
in
year
all
did
caps.
What year did Revenge of the Sith come out?
What did you scratch out?
I don't know. Turn it over. Maybe you can.
Oh, there's stuff on the next page.
Are you gonna read it?
I can't tell what you scratched out.
Oh, okay.
In the morning.
Let me see. I'm looking up what year Revenge of the Sith came out because that's probably about.
I think it's
within the
supposed to say
same year.
crying.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Matthew is probably going to be
Crying in the morning.
going Gowing. I think you wrote this today.
Can I see this?
There's no way that either of us came anywhere near 300 push-ups.
Well, here's the thing. I don't really remember this. I don't think we did them like in one go. I think we took like 4 hours and we do like 10 at a time, and we got to 300.
That's still a ridiculous amount of push-ups.
I remember doing that though. We did. I really.
I don't think that's true.
I mean, I did 310. You only did 300. So I don't. I mean, maybe you messed up your numbers. Maybe those aren't
I
accurate.
probably
But
did
I know I
320.
did. No, you didn't.
Crying is spelled very interesting.
Okay, so that was probably about 2005.
So I was 7.
Yeah.
You were 8.
Yeah.
There's no way
You're
we were
the
doing
strongest
300.
8. You should have been competing.
Yeah, there's just no way we were doing 300 push-ups.
In the little buff boys competition.
Yeah.
What was the other thing was just there was a bunch of like old yearbooks, right, from like elementary school, and I took a picture of this.
I had one of the greatest yearbook photos of all time
What year?
in like 5th grade.
The saddest picture I've ever... it's got to be on your Instagram somewhere, but the one where you're dressed up as a crayon is...
That's a great... that is one of
That's
the greatest Halloween costumes
the
ever.
saddest.
You don't remember my crayon costume?
No, I
I'm
thought
on
I just
Grandma
remember.
Canada's
Well, I
porch.
remember the
It's my
Jolly
profile
Rancher
pic.
one.
Maybe it is a Jolly
It is a Jolly
Yeah,
Rancher.
yeah.
Yeah, that's... You
I'm on
look
Grandma's
so
Canada's
not
porch.
happy
That is a
in
great
that.
picture.
What
yeah.
do you mean?
It's my profile picture on Xbox. You look miserable.
This is a great Jolly Rancher costume.
I didn't say the costume was bad. I said the picture is sad.
I think I look pretty
Let
content.
me see it again. I think you look pretty sad.
Let me see.
Yeah, no, that's a sad kid right there.
I don't think so. I think I'm posing for the picture.
Did you forget to be happy? It was Halloween.
Yeah, but it's also October 31st in fucking Western New York. It's probably 9 degrees out.
He just looks confused.
Windy. It's
I
probably
think.
so windy.
Yeah, I don't
probably
think
like,
he looks angry.
I'm probably like, we're at Grandma's right now, but I should already be trick-or-treating, so...
So this other thing that I found, it written in my yearbook. So you were in 2nd grade at this time, and it says you wrote your name, Matt. It says Matt, and then underneath, you suck, ! And then you circled it so that I would know where to find it.
Matt, you suck. You probably wrote that
He
about me
needed
again.
some. He needed
That's your handwriting.
Matt needed a grammar lesson there because what he wrote is Matt, you,
You
suck.
suck.
Yeah.
No, I
It
know.
was
wrote it about
supposed to be
himself,
Matt,
yeah.
comma, you suck,
Yeah,
but he
Matt,
was in
you
2nd
suck.
grade.
No, that would be Matt, you suck. That's me signing Matt and then saying you suck.
Right,
Matt,
right,
comma,
right.
you suck would be the same thing.
Okay, well, look, obviously
so
based
you
on
guys
all
need a
of the
fucking
notes,
grammar lesson.
but based
didn't
on all the
claim to
notes
be
that
an
we've
English
shown
expert.
today, we obviously were not the most literate family. You still can't read, so what are you going to
I
do?
work towards it every day. Not interested, so...
That's
I feel bad. Like I go to school still, and I feel bad. Like I'm like it's my 6th year of college now, and like people will put like 5 pages of reading in front of me, and I will legitimately look at group members and be like, it will take me a full hour to read this. Like somebody's gonna have to give me a cliff notes on it.
Alex and I had this conversation the other day. Unless you are like some type of scientist, there's no reason that, or like an engineer, there's no reason that anybody in the world should have to know math. Advanced math.
yeah.
Because math is very basic, but advanced math is, there's no reason anybody should ever have to learn it.
Well, I feel like, we're not saying anything that nobody's already said a million times, but it does ring true that, like, at a certain point, you should start teaching kids, checkbook balancing and all that shit. How to do their taxes.
Slow down with checkbook. I still
Whatever.
have never owned. Somebody asked me to write them a check the one day, and I said, like, they asked me to send it in the mail as a check for our like insurance payment or I don't know, but I was like, where do I get a check? And they're like, oh, you don't have checks in your bank? And I was like, I mean, I could try and get them. So I called the bank and I was like, oh, like, how do I get checks? And they're like, oh, well, it's $50. So you just take it right. I was like, slow down. I need one check. And so it turns out you can go get like a cashier's check, which is one they like print at the bank.
Yeah.
But it was still like $1. I was like, this is in an age of Venmo, we're writing checks to each other. Like, that is just asinine to me. It makes no sense. While I'm ranting, I'll go back to what I was talking about when we first sat here. This girl driving the car today. So I'm pulling out of the school parking lot. Like, I'm very obviously in the lane of like, I don't have to stop. Like, the other ones are like coming into my lane. So I'm like eyeing this girl up. She has no idea what's going on. Just cuts right off in front of me. And I could have T-boned her very easily. As soon as she gets in front of me, I see just a giant new driver sticker on the back of your car. And it's just great. Like, if you're acknowledging that you're a new driver and not that great at driving, and you're putting this big sticker on the back of your car, like, you're so aware of the fact that you're not a good driver. It's not like sticking a police badge out the window. Like, I can do whatever I want. Like, you should be so careful, and it should be like the people behind you are like, oh, okay, like, this person's driving slow because they're a new driver, not, oh, they just cut me off and almost ended my life because, oh, they're a new driver. Well,
Right. It's an excuse to be cautious, not an excuse to be reckless.
Yeah.
Okay,
just
gotcha.
whatever you want to do.
That's a good point, actually. That, you know what though? That's something that
Well, I know
like
what I
somebody.
hate.
I'm
Sorry.
I'm literally in the
Yeah,
middle.
but
of
it
a
wasn't going to be
sentence.
anything worth. Okay, go ahead.
I mean, maybe it wasn't. Okay, and I'll admit it definitely wasn't. But still,
Go ahead.
that's something you would like put on your car, even though you've been driving for a while. Like, you put new driver on there so that you can like try to get away with it. But that's a lie. Like, they've been driving for a long time.
I hate baby on board stickers.
Those are dumb.
Like, oh, I didn't realize you had a baby on board. Now I'll make sure I try not to hit your car. Because that was my intention in the first place, was I was going to make sure that I hit your car.
Yeah, you're like pulling out. You're like, I can't wait to go out and rail a car today. You get out of the driver, you're like, fuck, not this.
I actually
can't hit this one's got a baby on board.
I think it was the first like car incident I ever had. It was on New Year's Eve. I just got my license, and I was backing out of I was at Lasertron, and I was backing out of a space, and it was snowing, and I backed into this car that was like trying to pull into like a spot behind me. I couldn't really see them, and it was this family, and it was they were pulling into an illegal spot. FYI, for this, this has always bothered me for this guy listening. But his wife gets out and she's like, "I have kids in the car. I have kids in the car." And I was like, Bauer almost fell out of his chair.
Almost went down.
Continue.
This woman gets out of her car and she's like, I have kids in the car. I have kids in the car. And I was like, I didn't know that. Like, sorry.
You eyed him.
You know what I mean?
Out of the parking lot.
Well, also, like, I mean, I hit him like it was that fast, like literally that fast. But you know what? Now that I remember it, though, the thing is, when I hit them at first, I did continue to go back because I was like, oh, the snow is really sticking to the ground out here. So I did. I did kind of
left out a crucial part of this story.
Okay, I did forget that part. But
You're like,
still.
I set off all the airbags and totaled their car.
Yeah.
One of the kids
I actually
did die
ran over
in
the kid. Yeah.
A couple of times, just kind of
His
backed
neck
up.
was under my wheel, so I just pulled right forward, got it off. It was like 1 second.
All right,
It's not a
continue
big
though.
deal.
Is that
Well, everybody was at fault in that situation, but the thing was, like, they were they were pulling into an illegal spot. I don't think they could tell because it was snowing on the ground.
But you were a Lasertron regular, so you knew no car should be parked there.
You've
At this
been
point,
to Lasertron too
I mean,
many
I had
times.
been to Lasertron.
Did you have
before.
maybe a couple too many Lasertron surprises?
Okay.
No.
Oh.
Did
Did you have any Lasertron surprises?
I don't remember.
Then
you didn't go to Lasertron.
Yeah, you didn't go to Lasertron.
I was gonna say I've been waiting to bring up Lasertron surprise because one, elite. If you go to Lasertron and didn't get a Lasertron surprise, I agree, you didn't go.
Yeah.
But we went to. Matt, did you come to Tap Room the other night?
No.
So me and a few people.
But you told me about this.
Me and a few people went to Tap Room, and it's basically like you get a card and you scan it, and when you scan it, you can pour your own beer. So there's like 50 beers, so we're sitting at the table. Obviously, we had a few, and I'm sitting there. I'm like, bro, somebody's got to make a Lasertron surprise beer. No, like just mix a few of them together. And so I was saying this while we're getting beers, and the girl at the counter literally turns around. You can only put 4 in a cup. Like, which only leads me to believe somebody's had to have tried it.
A lot of people.
4.
Probably.
That's still a lot of beers. 4 in a cup.
Yeah.
I don't really even know how they, like, you must only be able to get 4 in a certain amount of time, maybe, to like keep you from just sitting there sucking them back right in front of the tap.
Because you just need to put a little bit in of each.
Yeah,
you just
just a
fly
splash.
down the line like that.
But you have to tap your card
you gotta,
before you
like,
can
yeah,
pull
you gotta
the.
scan.
Oh,
for each
okay, yeah.
It's a pretty cool place. You ever been there? It was interesting. It was a little weird at the end because they give you your bill and it's like got a spot to tip and it's like, okay, I picked up my own food and poured all of my own drinks. All you did was just issue me this card.
Right, that's a flawed system.
Yeah.
That kind of sucks.
I mean, we gave him money anyways. But
right.
I was like, I don't.
That sucks for the people that work there though, because probably a lot of folks don't do that.
I would imagine they don't.
And you still probably are paying them like a diminished wage or whatever the term is because you know it's supposedly they're gonna get tips. You know what I mean?
Sure. Speaking of getting paid, how much am I getting?
$0. You're getting paid an experience.
You actually have to perform sexual favors on both of us before leaving.
Okay, no.
Oh.
I'm not the old lady that lived next to you guys, okay? I don't want you anywhere near my stuff.
For time purposes,
Yeah.
we got one thing we got to bring up, and then we're going to dive right into the Who Would Have Been the Week.
Okay.
Really sad news came across the desk yesterday. I had to look up his name, to be honest, to make sure.
Yeah.
Well, it's actually just a screenshot of the tweet, because I sent you the tweet. But Willie Garson?
Garcon.
Willie Garcon?
Garcon.
Garcon. Willie Garcon died yesterday. Tuesday. For the people who don't know, Willie Garcon was Mozzie from White Collar.
And he
was in Sex and the City too, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Everybody's
Yeah.
saying, like, the actor best known for Sex and the City. What are you talking about? But also, like, if
White
you
Collar.
look him up, you'll recognize him because he's been in a ton of stuff.
He is one of the greatest. White Collar is one of my favorite shows of all time. So, in my opinion, he's one of the greatest. Because his character in that show, unbelievable.
Yeah, amazing.
So, quick 3-second moment of silence. Okay, now into the Who Would Have Been of the Week. We have his character from White Collar, Mozzie from White Collar, versus Dr. Spencer Reed from Criminal Minds. I have a few trivia questions for you guys. I wrote them down.
Okay, I'm not going to get any of these. Will you tilt again, Alex?
Before the Who Would Win of
Thank
the
you.
Week. Wait, I got to find my...
Okay, because I watched White Collar when it was on, and I only watched like the bare minimum.
All right. I'll stick
Minds.
to 2 questions.
Okay.
So Mozzie, for the people who have never seen White Collar, we'll talk about Mozzie in the Who Would Win of the Week, but he is one of the greatest criminal masterminds, one of the greatest white collar criminals of all time. So, do either of you know Mozzie's real name? Not in real life, but real name in the show White Collar.
I remember they tell you, but I can't remember
Lucius
what it is.
Blackfish, I think, is what it was.
No, not even close.
Pretty sure it was Lucius Blackfish.
No, not even
Okay.
close.
I would double check that.
I
Well, then who is Lucius Blackfish?
probably an alias or something that you're making up. I don't know.
Hey, he's somebody. I think he's running for office.
His real name, and they only ever figure it out when it comes down to, he was adopted, and so that's how they eventually figure it out.
Yep.
His name was Theodore Winters, and he has a teddy bear also named Theodore.
Adorable.
I remember that now that you're saying it.
Second question, is Mozzie single in the show?
Hey, man, you can't tie down the Moz, am I right, folks?
I don't think he is. No.
He's married with kids
Mozzie is married.
to like a lighthouse lady.
No, actually, his marriage started out as a con. He went to like some expensive place to con a woman.
Yeah.
She was there to con a man. They got married, figured it out, and then stayed married because they were like actually in love with each other, and then both went their separate ways to do a con, but he was still married throughout the entire show legally.
What a sweet story.
That's what I was gonna say. Like he's not like living with her.
No,
yeah,
but he is married. So to the fight. This is the thing about this fight, and Andrew and I talked about it a ton. Haven't necessarily filled Chef in on this yet, but he's about to get filled in right now. The thing about Mozzie is he's not one for physical altercation.
No.
Well, neither is Reed, though, right?
No. But so the premise of this fight then becomes Reed, as somebody who hunts down criminals, would be tasked first with having to like find Mozzie. And that's really more where the fight comes in. So Dr. Reed is the smartest guy by far in the BAU, the Behavioral Analysis Unit of the FBI. He's a genius, and it allows him to, analyze all this data and stuff like that. Mozzie, on the other hand, is a genius in his own world. He can think his way through any situation. He has more aliases than probably anybody in the world. He's a mastermind criminal. So the question becomes, would Reed be able to find Mozzie? Because if Reed found Mozzie, he could always just, arrest him, kill him, whatever. Mozzie's not a fighter by any means. But do you think Reed would be able to find Mozzie?
Well, this is street smarts versus book smarts, basically,
Yes,
right?
That's exactly pretty much what it is. But both on exaggerated levels.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest. I don't think he's getting away.
You don't think
Really?
Mozzie's getting away?
I don't.
Why?
Think, I feel like it's easier to find somebody
Then to not be found.
than to not be found. Yeah.
Interesting.
So
I wish we had like the statistics of hide and go seek in front of us right now.
I was gonna say, is there any really good statistics? Because how can you count something that hasn't been found, right?
Well, it would just be, yeah. So there's 6 seasons of White Collar. Mozzie worked kind of with the FBI all 6 seasons, and I believe it took them until season 5 to figure out Mozzie's real name. So I'll give you with that. It's 5 seasons of you're working in the
Are we
same office with
capping
somebody.
Spencer's time that he has to?
That's a good point. Because with enough time, if Mozzie stays
Mozzie could
active the whole
disappear.
time, but if he stays active the whole time, like doing different crimes, and Reed has unlimited time to find him, then I think Alex's theory probably becomes true.
I think if you're going like lifetime, the real question is Mozzie good enough at faking his own death? That's the only way you're getting out of this. You have to make him think that you're dead.
Which Mozzie does fake his own death.
Yeah.
He actually tries again a second time. And he gets... See, I've seen every... excuse me. I've seen every episode of both of these shows enough times to know everything that both of these characters have done.
Mm-hmm.
This is what I think it comes down to. I don't think Spencer Reed has the ability to think creatively like Mozzie does.
Really?
He does and he doesn't, but at a certain point to Reed, yes, he can get in the minds of criminals, but it all comes down to like patterns and stuff like that, right? And that's how he's able to like be so good at his job. Whereas Moz can be so creative and make a pattern in the sense that there is no pattern.
I think that's a good point. Like in Criminal Minds, they're not making the criminals like so smart that, you know what I mean? Like,
So, but they do though. They do in some instances, and it takes extended periods of time for them, like full seasons in some cases, for them to catch people. But that's the thing is, do you think that a guy as smart as Spencer Reed would be able to analyze Mozzie's behavior to the point of being able to catch him? I might have just talked myself into picking Spencer Reed.
I also think I think Mozzie's like distinct advantage is that he's always so anxious in the show that something might be going wrong, that even when he does the right thing, he's going to go ahead, because you're saying like, oh, he's going to follow patterns. So even when he's broken the pattern, he's gonna go ahead and break the pattern again.
Right.
Well,
He's
that's
gonna
what I mean.
ultimately
That's a
get
good
away.
way. Like Mozzie
the
would
only
break the
time-
pattern of the pattern.
The only time that Mozzie
now
ever,
I think he might get away. I think he
yeah.
is.
So I'm kind of back on board like that too, because the only time in the show that
sorry.
Mozzie
Playing footsie with you.
ever gets caught or even gets close to being caught is because of Neil. And Neil, although a great criminal, has this huge ego that would allow, like, Reed could catch Neil even though he's the best of the best, because Mozzie has no ego. He's never too cautious of any situation. He always thinks that something is going wrong. And the only reason he ever gets caught is because Neil is not necessarily like that. Neil's ego plays too big of a role, and Mozzie is too loyal to Neil. But in this case, Neil's out of the equation.
Right.
Right? This is mano y mano. Mozzie trying to get away from Reed.
You don't think Mozzie tries to like get Neil out? He's like, Neil, help me out.
No way. I don't think so.
And
No.
he keeps it from him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think.
I think Mozzie is in. I don't think Neil's in the equation at this point.
I want to have like a 40-hour white collar marathon right now.
I'm in.
After.
You want to know what tonight is actually that we said we were going to start doing?
Oh, is tonight Survivor?
Tonight's the first episode of the new season of Survivor.
Let's go. Wait, can we watch it right when I get home?
It depends. I don't know what I got going on.
It's fucking bad.
So for the sake of time, though,
It's called a calendar.
because Alex does have to leave.
I got another 15.
Yeah, before you got to be in
Yeah.
your car, though.
Yeah.
We've
The
gotta
way that I
debrief.
think that this kind of plays out, I think that Reed would find Mozzie, but they would it's some like dark warehouse, and Reed like busts in, and then Mozzie's there. And he's like, "I've been waiting for you," and then they kind of have an exchange of words, but then Mozzie bolts.
Yeah, we've never experienced the fact of, is Mozzie smart enough to get Spencer to like think like, oh, he would never actually try and kill me. He's just gonna stay away, and then bang, Spencer walks in the room, shoots him down.
Mozzie doesn't kill people. Though.
Yeah, that's a thing. And Reed would definitely know that. And I don't. If he was if he's been chasing him for a lifetime, I still don't think that Mozzie would kill him, because I also kind of think that there's something in Mozzie that, as much as he dislikes feds, does kind of appreciate the relationship between.
Yeah, he has a respect.
What
Yeah.
a crossover it would be.
That would have been really cool.
Yeah,
I can talk to some
Spencer.
people.
Spencer gets Mozzie, and then Mozzie works. You know what I mean? Crossover show. Mozzie's the new main character.
God. He was so good.
Mozzie?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Will
fuck
he?
it. Let's do it with Neil. That would be the sickest crossover of all time.
Yeah.
Neil? No. I think that this is tough.
So I think I
think
got to
that-
go with Moz.
I think
for
I'm
sure.
going with Moz.
I think
too.
I'm also going to go with Moz. I just think that he is so good. Like, there's people, when you watch the show, there's people that have been searching for Mozzie for a lifetime. And he just has disappeared off those people's radars.
Mhm.
Because he just changes his name. And I don't even.
I can't
like,
believe they ever solve any crimes in New York City ever.
I think crime solving in general is like a very difficult thing because because it's in TV shows it looks fairly easy. Like you just find sperm, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, that's that joke in Superbad.
No, that I was
What movie is that where he's like, I thought there
Forgetting
was
Sarah
jizz.
Marshall.
Yeah, he's like, I thought there was jizz on everything.
yeah, Forgetting Sarah Marshall. Because Sarah Marshall is that detective in the show.
Oh yeah. That's
Oh
interesting.
no. What's the show where? Damn it, he's a cop and he's like, oh, at first when I was a cop, like I thought it was so easy to solve crimes.
That's
You just-
Superbad.
you just
Shit.
look- you
No,
just
it's
look
not.
for. Yes, no, it is. It is
okay.
super bad.
Yeah, it
it's
is.
with the two
that
cops.
part
It's
is
like,
super bad. Yeah.
I was looking for jizz everywhere. I thought there was jizz on everything.
Yeah, there's just jizz.
God, that movie is unreal.
So that's a
Oh,
clean
amazing.
sweep going to Mozzie. And R.I.P. Mozzie. Alex said the same thing to me last night, but I'll say it again. That rules out a remake, because you can't remake the show without Moz.
Yeah.
So White Collar is
So R.I.P.
Could have a
Mozzie,
son, though.
R.I.P. White Collar.
yeah.
a
But
little bald kid.
clean sweep for Moz. That will be on our Instagram on Friday. Go on there,
Yep,
vote.
tomorrow.
Let us know who you would think. If you've never seen White Collar, do yourself a favor. die, or if not, go watch it, one or the other. Yeah.
I like those two options.
Also, while we're wrapping up,
Don't
guess
die.
I want to
Just
do a
watch
quick
it.
plug before I forget that this Friday we're doing another live stream for WWE SmackDown, 8 p.m. on Twitch under the handle snackspot_SE with the guys from Schemin' and Dreamin'. So we're going to be live on Twitch, 8 o'clock Friday for SmackDown. That SummerSlam was crazy. That was so much fun. So this is also going to be really
I
fun.
unfortunately will not be at this live stream. I can't make it. But the first one was ridiculous. I had never watched WWE before until that night.
So now that we're a little in the world.
I was going to say, so I was on, like, not to plug another podcast, but I listen part of my take a lot. And so I obviously, your phone knows everything about you. I get, like, their Reddit feed. And there was, like, a bunch of people, like, a lot of people complaining on their Reddit feed, like, oh, CM Punk's coming up for an interview. Not going to watch that one. And I was like, I don't think WWE's that bad. Like,
dude, it is.
It's like, it's cool.
Ridiculous.
You can go to it. It's like one of those things where it's like lacrosse. Like, you could have never watched it before, seen it before, and you can go to, like, a lacrosse game. You can go to a WWE match, and it's so entertaining.
That is actually the perfect comparison. And a big part of that has got to be the fans, right? Because the fans
are insane
for both those things, man.
Josh Allen. I wonder if he's going to be at this one.
Oh, my God, that was great.
You could just do a crowd watch, like, not even see the event and just watch them.
Oh, especially with WWE. And that's we did do that for a while there.
We did it. Yeah. There's people that are out there that are, like, purists of the sport, I'd say, that, like, love the sport for the sport. But if you get the opportunity to sit down and watch it for fun, it is hysterical to watch.
Yeah, really
Very
is.
Entertaining. And there's crazy shit that happens. And also, it's worth the watch. So tune into the live stream. That starts Friday at 8 p.m.
8 p.m. Eastern.
_SE on Twitch.
Yes. Sounds good.
Alex, thanks for coming on, bro.
Thanks for having me. I want to come on more often. So as often as you guys want me, I will.
I wanted you 0 times. So far,
yeah,
I've already done it twice. So
get your burner accounts going.
Astronomical numbers. You don't know how many burner accounts I'll make. I will blow you. I was the other day.
Blow you.
I'll blow you. Literally, I'll suck all the dicks. That's a bad clip.
That's going in the montage for sure.
So, the other day, I have a small business and we were trying to get our Google reviews up, and I was like, well, I have 14 Gmail accounts, like, so I was just no words, just bang, 5 stars, reliable, clean, on time.
Yeah. Do you want to plug the business?
Yeah. So I don't know how many of your fans are local, but Suds Up, mobile detailing company, we come right to you. Take care of your car, RVs, boats. I know winter's coming around. You got to get those things winterized. RVs, same thing. I know a lot of people are fall campers or, just finishing up your summer camping season, inside and outside. Same thing for your vehicles, motorcycles, anything that you really need us to clean. We can take care of that for you. Our website's sudsup.co. There's a little form down the bottom of the page. You just put in your information, and I'll shoot you a text and get you scheduled to come in and get a cleaning.
You guys have, like, an Instagram, too, don't you?
Yeah, we have an Instagram. It's sudsup_. We got a Facebook, Suds Up Mobile Detail and Wash. There's Google My Business is probably the easiest way to find us. Just if you just Google, if you Google mobile detail in Buffalo, we should be the first one that comes up. Somebody was leaving us a lot of reviews. I don't know. Somebody left us a lot of good reviews recently. So
I never realized that you were so into this tactic, but it's working for you. I
guess.
Guess.
Yeah, no, it's great. Well, I mean, we have a lot of real reviews. I mean,
yeah,
you can obviously tell who they are. They all say Alex on them.
Okay.
But yeah, no, I mean, why not, right?
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, most people are not gonna. Yeah, exactly. And that's the thing. Like, even if you do that more, just like the more interactions,
yeah,
it will like recommend it to people more.
If you can that's get your not to get crazy here, but like if you can get like your generic searches up, like if you just put in detailing Buffalo, we're the second thing that comes up. That gets 11,000 searches a month.
Yeah,
that's 11,000 people that I always say all the time. Like, you don't have to book all the business, but if people know you exist and you can do enough to get by and just be around, you're doing good.
Yeah, all you have to do is like that makes a tiny bit of an impression. That's worth a lot.
Same thing for you guys. Like,
yeah,
even if the billboard doesn't get 100 people to listen to your podcast, if they know, you're that Two in the Cooler podcast guy, I've never listened to it, but they know who you are. That's huge.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
everybody want to be famous. Nobody want to put the work in. All right, well, let's do that thing.
All right,
Alex, I guess thank you. I'll see you soon. I wish I didn't have to, but I will.
See me tonight.
Yeah, no, we live
Sony's
together.
house.
Yeah, that's
Oh my God.
Yeah, party at Sony's house. Andy, I love you.
I love you too. Let's get out of here. Thanks, Alex.
Love you guys.